Greetings, Patriots. Welcome back to the Albert Plan YouTube channel. In this video, I want to talk about the first order of business in restoring election integrity, and that is decoupling federal elections from state and local elections. In the Albert Plan, I propose an amendment that would establish Federal Election Day as the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November in even-numbered years. States would do well to pick up the odd-numbered years for state and local elections. And whether they want to decouple state-level elections from local would be up to each state. We the people must take any measure we can in order to restore election integrity. For Democrats have been relentless in their pursuit of chaos and the undermining of our election integrity through any means they possibly can accomplish that end. In the 2020 election, they have pulled out all the stops. They've used the COVID-19 crisis as a way to justify extreme measures like mail-in voting where states, Democrat-led states, are unilaterally mailing millions of unsolicited ballots to people that, frankly, a lot of them on the voter rolls are no longer living at the stated addresses. That's a project that Tom Fitton at Judicial Watch has been working on to try to clean up the voter rolls. And states, liberal states, have been resistant to do that. They've had support of federal judges that basically are playing politics with their position. They're not upholding the Constitution. They're not upholding the fair and free elections that we the people need in order to have confidence in the results of our elections. So all of this discord and chaos that Democrats have been sowing is a very dangerous time, but it's a time for us to wake up and to recognize what's going on and to take all the measures we can in order to cut them off at the pass. They will not like the proposal to in the proposed constitutional amendment. In my book on restoring election integrity, I call for the segregation of federal elections from state and local. We could establish a federal holiday on Federal Election Day, at least during presidential elections. And by segregating elections, federal from state and local, we basically would simplify the process. The federal elections only involve up to a maximum of 3 decisions by each voter. Congressional seat in each congressional district every 2 years is decided upon. And 2 out of 3 election cycles, Democrats, senators are up for election in states 2 out of 3 election cycles. So Democrats are determined to create an opaque system, a confusing system, complicated system. So they won't like the idea of simplifying things. And the third decision that a voter could make in any congressional district would be that of the election of the president, vice president on a ticket. So basically, there would be up to 3 decisions, and we could have paper ballots. Those paper ballots could be color-coded, red, white, and blue. A white ballot could be the congressional race. A red ballot could be the Senate race if there is one. And the blue ballot could be the presidential race if there is one. Now, in a later video, I'll talk about the proposal I make, a constitutional amendment that would establish a single term for president of 6 years. There are a lot of good reasons to do that, but right now with 4-year terms, that's how the elections would stack up. We basically would have 2.17 ballots per election for every 2-year federal election. Some years there would only be one decision to be made, and some years there would be 3, and some 2. So, federal elections, all elections should be decentralized and distributed. The elections need to happen locally. The counting of votes needs to happen locally. They can happen on the day of election. We don't have to wait for days or months or weeks to find out who wins in the presidential election if we conduct that election the right way, or any other federal office. If we have ballots that are cast on election day, after polls close, those ballots can be counted and the results can be tabulated immediately. By that evening, certainly by 10 p.m. or midnight, the day of election, we could know who the winner of the presidential race would be, or who the winner of each Senate race would be, or congressional race. And Democrats won't like this. They won't go along with it. We'd have to figure out how to get it done. Now, aside from a constitutional amendment that would get this done at the federal level, we could have, we the people in each state could rise up and we could move as one, we could speak as one, the clamoring, the silent majority becomes the clamoring majority, and we clamor for a segregation of federal elections from state and local by simply demanding that our states move state and local elections to odd-numbered years. In my proposed amendment, there would be a 60-day moratorium on any elections before or after federal election, and that would, it would make sense that states would move their state elections to odd-numbered years. So that's a very simple first step, and the Democrats and those that want to thrive on chaos and confusion, they're not going to go along with anything that we propose to simplify the situation, to simplify the vote, or to add additional security and integrity to our elections. We can see plain as day what they're doing in the 2020 election to create chaos, to use lawfare to try to change the results of the election. And we just can't let that stand. So Democrats admit that we have a lack of election integrity. By their own admission, they're saying that they think that the only way President Trump can win re-election is by chicanery at the polls. That's per Joe Biden, the Democrat nominee. Others on the Democrat side, and in the media, which is either they're in cahoots with the Democrats, and I don't know if the Democrats are working for the media or the media are working for the Democrats, but it doesn't matter. They're on the same team. So they're just creating confusion and putting out a false narrative, and we need to bring an end to that. We can do it. We can simplify. We should thank them for raising the issue to the level that it has been raised, to a matter of a clear and present danger to the survival of our republic. That's how bad they made it. They want to turn us into a banana republic. And if we don't have a fair and free election where we know who the winners are, we can't survive as a republic. We can't be an example to other nations on how they can assure election integrity. We can't help people that want to be free establish that freedom and make it stick by having those fair and free elections when you have so much that goes on that undermines that. So that's the first order of business, and on future videos we'll talk about other steps that we can take to restore election integrity. And we need to organize folks and clamor for this kind of change, and we can do it if we get enough people organized. If you like the proposals that I make and the videos that I'm producing, like the video and share it, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell so that you'll be notified when I post another video, and we will take our country back, restore election integrity, and restore our lost liberties, and try to have fun in that process. God bless you all, and God bless America.